So hello everyone. Today allow me teach you something, uh, and I'll teach you about cranial nerves. So when you hear cranial, it means to deal with the brain. So we are talking about the nerves, as they come from the brain. So when we hear about cranial nerves, the first cranial nerve, you touch your nose, and what do you think about? Smelling. So the nerve that we use to smell, and that is olfactory. So cranial nerve number one is olfactory nerve, and that is the one we use for smelling. Then cranial nerve number two, touch your eyes, something to do with the vision, and that is your optic nerve. So cranial nerve number two is your optic nerve. Then cranial nerve number three, let's remain around our eyes, and that is a nerve we call oculomotor nerve. Oculomotor nerve, that's also to deal with vision, and especially when I look down like this. Then cranial nerve number four is the trochlear nerve. Trochlear nerve, that is the nerve when I look up like this, I use the trochlear nerve to do that. So the trochlear nerve, that is the cranial nerve number four. So cranial nerve number two, three, and four are all around your eyes. Then cranial nerve number five is touch around here, the trigeminal nerve, and trigeminal nerve can do like this. So when we are chewing, we are using the trigeminal nerve, and also when we so trigeminal nerve actually is quite broad, so I will make something about it, but just know cranial nerve number five is your trigeminal nerve, and think about chewing. Then cranial nerve number six is what we call the abducent nerve. Abducent nerve, when you hear about it, come back to the eyes. Come back to the eyes and think about this. When you look sideways, either medially or laterally, you're using cranial nerve number six, and that is abducent nerve. Then you can go to number seven, cranial nerve number seven. Think about your facial expressions, smiling, doing what, so many things, and that is your facial nerve. And that facial nerve, actually, it also to deal with taste. Yeah, tasting actually, the anterior part of the tongue. We use facial nerve. I will not go into detail to tell you which part of the tongue, but I could say anterior two-thirds or something. Yeah, but for now, just know the facial nerve deals with tasting and then facial expressions. Then cranial nerve number eight. Cranial nerve number eight is the one we shall call vestibulocochlear nerve. The vestibular, when you hear vestibule, think about hearing. Cochlear already still within the ear, and you notice something to do with hearing and balance. So that is the vestibulocochlear nerve. So when you have things like vertigo, that is the nerve that we think about. Then cranial nerve number nine is the one we shall call the glossopharyngeal nerve. Think about your tongue. Tell me you hear the word grosso, it comes the tongue. So pharyngeal, pharynx, so posterior part of the tongue, so it deals with the swallowing. When you think about swallowing, think about cranial nerve number 9, and that is the glossopharyngeal nerve. Then cranial nerve number 10, that is the vagus nerve. should have heard something about vasovagal reflex. So many reflexes to deal with the vagus nerve. When you hear someone has a hiccup, they say there is irritation of the vagus nerve. So that is the vagus nerve, and that is cranial nerve number 10. Does a lot of things. Then cranial nerve number 11, and that is your accessory. Think about your shoulders. When I do this and I do this, that is cranial nerve number 11, and that is the accessory nerve. That's what I'm using. Then cranial nerve number 12 is what we call the hypoglossal nerve. And when you hear glossal, it still comes to the tongue. So it still comes to the tongue. So cranial nerve number 9, number 12, they are all around the tongue. Then even cranial nerve number 7, the facial nerve, it's also around the tongue, because we said there is some aspect of testing. So those are the 12 cranial nerves. We said number 1 olfactory, number 2 optic, number 3 oculomotor, number 4 trochlear, number 5 trigeminal, number 6 abducent, number 7 facial, number 8 vestibulocochlear, number 9 glossopharyngeal, number 10 vagus, number 11 accessory, number 12 hypoglossal. Thank you.